All right, y'all, welcome to this week's episode of Music in the Minor League. This week we're joined by Cory Todd and Kevin Marble of the local band Oddtoddler. They play all around the Galveston, Southern Houston, Freeport area. In fact, they have a standing third Saturday gig out at Bridge Bait in Freeport every month. We really enjoyed sitting down and talking to them. We checked out their self-titled album from a few years ago, and man, it really was a great adventure through many different genres and just a killer record. It was really cool to hear them as like a full band outfit, which they do around town quite often. We recommend following them on their social media accounts so you know where they're going to be. All right, real quick before we get to the episode, we got to run through our housekeeping. First up, if you like the podcast, please share it on social media. Please help us get the word out. All of the algorithms are really crushing down everything we do. Like when you put a social media post, you only get to see one line, even if you're a subscriber. So it's really difficult. So the best way to get the word out is to have you share it, have you tell some friends about it. You know, if you know Cory and Kevin, man, get the word out. Let people know about it. Maybe they'll sift back and find some other musicians they like, or at least some names they recognize. That'd really help us out, and it would help the artists we talk to. We don't really run ads. We don't do anything to make money. Our deal is to help push the scene we're a part of and help people find cool music right in their backyard. Next up, if you want to be on the podcast, please hit us up on one of our social media accounts. We'd love to talk to you. We have a few prerequisites, but nothing super big. As long as you have music out in the world, most of the time we'll be happy to talk to you. Next up, if you want to see Brightwire, we do have some shows coming up. This week on June 14th, we'll be doing a 15th anniversary celebration for Sweet Spot Audio and Tapes. You may remember our episode with Bart a while back. That will be at 11 a.m. start, and it'll run to 5. Scotty Frazier, Tucker Hart, and Grifters and Chills, all of which you heard on the podcast, will all be performing. It's worth coming out. There's going to be record deals. There's going to be refreshments, all sorts of cool stuff, man. Bart really does it up. We've been there for his Christmas celebrations and all sorts of stuff, man. It's really like a good deal. Then later that night, again on June 14th, starting at 8:30 p.m., we'll be over at Union Tavern in Webster. We'll be playing with Shame on Me, which you heard Jules earlier this season, and you heard Mel last season. One of our favorite bands, period. And we're stoked to be able to play with them. We're going to do a full band show. Again, that starts at 8:30, and we'll be kicking it off. On June 21st, we'll be participating in Make Music Day over at Kojak's. Around the world, I think people on the solstice, which is June 21st, play music all day. So we're going to be playing at 8:30 that night, but it starts at 11 a.m. So you can slide in and out of Kojak's, catch people all day. People like Brian Kalanick, Kim Solom, John Hall, Etta Mash, Susan Elliott, Stars and Satellites, and a bunch more will be playing. It'll be super cool. We hope to see you out there. All right, that about does it for us. We're going to let you get back to it. We're going to kick off the episode with one of the songs from Oddtoddler. This one's called Midway Lights. See you on the other side. Later.
After the show is over, you can fill your glass to the brim. Cry over your past if you wish, while the midway lights grow dim, grow dim. Think of the love lost, hidden away like sacred gems. Remember the past you thought you wasted, while the midway lights grow dim, grow dim. Well, you gambled and lost, so pay the cost. Your chances at winning seem slim. You've cheated and lied from the past. You can't hide as the midway lights grow dim. not for the ones in the carnival fringe. She got so bored she couldn't take it no more. Every night when the lights went dim, you say you don't understand how she could have left you on such a whim. Though you live separate lives and live separate lives, every night when the lights grow dim, grow dim. Well, you gambled and lost, so pay the cost. Your chances at winning seem slim. You've cheated and lied from the past. You can't hide as the midway lights go dim. Well, you gambled and lost, so pay the cost. Your chances at winning seem slim. You've cheated and lied from the past. You can't hide as the midway lights grow dim, grow dim.
All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Music in the Minor League. Today we are here with Cory and Kevin of Oddtoddler. They're a local band out of the, I guess now you are, Lake Jackson area.
Brazoria County. We're all over the place.
All right.
Nice.
Well, since we got y'all here, checked out the old album. Y'all got anything new in the works?
We're working, trying to get back in and get some new recordings done. We got a lot of new music for sure.
Yeah, the album's, I think it's from 2017, so I've written quite a few songs since then. They're ready to record, but we haven't got there yet.
We're trying to get back in there, get some new recordings down. So,
Well, the old album that we listened to today was phenomenal.
yeah, we're really proud of that. We're very proud of that.
We worked hard for that.
It was, we went to Austin and recorded that in 2017, and like I was telling y'all earlier, my brother was our drummer at that time, so we got to, he passed away a couple of years ago, but we got to have him on that record, and so we're really proud of like getting that in and getting him down on the record with us before he passed away. So, but we got a kind of a different sound now.
Yeah, that's part of the reason we haven't recorded too, is losing Steven. We've been adapting a little bit, trying to figure out, it's not going to be the same, this next time, but we're going to do our best.
Well, I really dug how, like, I kept telling Sam, I was like, is it blues? Well, no, that sounds more like kind of freeform jazz. Like, you guys were all over the place, and it sounded really, really good. Because I'd only seen you guys live, I think, at the
League City.
The League City deal, which is like, here's your two songs. Like, it's like
there was a while where we were hitting up a lot of places. We used to try to play the old quarter a lot. Janet and Rex were running it still, and anywhere we can play, we play.
Yeah,
I think Super Happy Funland. I think y'all played there, right?
We used to play there back in the days, and
early 2000s.
Yeah, we played everywhere that'll let us play. We've been all over Houston, so
it's kind of our practice.
Sounds
too,
familiar.
man. Like, no reason to be too proud. Get out there and just play wherever, man.
Oh, we love the open mic scene too. That's where we met most of the strange friends that we have.
Yeah, for
it's a good way to network. Definitely.
I feel like in this area too, you get a lot of really strong musicians. Like, there's times you go to open mics here and you're like, oh man, like this is
yeah, it'll blow your mind. Yeah, there's a lot of good songwriters in the Houston area. It's really a great place to network and listen to music. So,
well, Ron Ross, we're looking forward to next week?
Yeah, and the League City, the next League City thing, our buddy Ron Ross is the main performer. So he's got some really great songs too. So
agreed.
Yeah, Ron's one of those people I met. I think the first time I met him was probably at JP Hop's house.
That's where we met him.
We used to play at JP's a lot. Yeah. We love Pam and Jim a lot too.
Yeah, man, that's what we love. Still going out to anything on the west side because Pam still comes out to everything.
She does show up like to a lot of stuff.
I was there the night of the fire.
Oh,
yeah.
Corey that was awful.
We had just been there. I think that's why we were. So
we played there like the week before. I want to say
I threw water on the fire. I tried.
Gosh.
It was just impossible. It was too fast.
Scary.
Yeah.
Well, so what are you guys working on right now? You said you've written a lot of new stuff.
Yeah. Well, since I moved back to the coastal area, I started kind of trying to maybe target the motifs, the certain coastal kind of living thing. I've kind of been doing that, writing some fishing songs,
nice.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Focusing on the history of areas. I like the history of this coast, so I kind of draw from that quite a bit. I read a lot. But lately I've been writing about Freeport, Texas. Where?
You're right, though. There is nothing like the coast. And I didn't understand that until I met Sam. I didn't realize that people that live on the coast are just kind of a different breed of people.
Yeah,
they have a different experience than you have living in a city or a small town.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little chiller. A lot of people just take it a lot more easy.
Definitely.
On the coast,
they don't seem stressed or in a hurry about anything.
Yeah.
Because most of your economy's based on tourism and things like that. So, or people coming in to fish or things like that. So you're just like, there's nothing that's like high stakes business. It's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, it's pretty industrial over there in Surfside where we are, mostly. But it's kind of a little hideaway. You can pretend you're somewhere else.
And it attracts interesting people. There's a lot of
always.
different people in that area. So very cool.
Yeah, we grew up with all the like fish people, and then there was oil stuff down toward High Island, so we had all that growing up. But it was still, everything was always just like, whatever, man, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
One of our favorite places to play is just right there under the Surfside Bridge. It's called Bridge Bait, and it's a bait on the Intracoastal Waterway. But they have like a store in there, and you can get beer and sit. They have a little place to sit in the
patio, and it's right on the water.
It's really cool.
We play every third Saturday of the month out there, and it's probably one of our favorite places in the world.
Yeah, Captain Jack.
Yeah, shout out to Captain Jack for sure.
Oh man, that's cool because we actually have. I've seen a bunch of people play out there. I've never been.
I just saw Opie Hendrix there this weekend.
Yeah, it does say like some legit.
Yeah,
some people on the road and stuff play through there, so that's super cool.
Man, we love that place.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to go check that out.
Well, y'all hear that?
Y'all would like it there.
If you're coming down to Houston, you should go down to the coast and play too.
For sure.
Not everybody does, but if you make it down here, you should.
And if you, definitely go to the Old Quarter and see a show, and like all those places are just amazing places to watch shows and stuff. I love it.
Well, that's what's cool. You're talking about the history of it. I always tell people after the Old Quarter, it's like, man, you go 2 blocks this way and then like a block this way or 2 blocks the other way, and you got like Gene Lafitte's like what's left of his old place. I'm like, there's all this wild stuff just right there.
Jean Lafitte.
All the Karankawa history and stuff on the coast. Corey's really into all that stuff too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, growing up over on the peninsula, like we used to, one of the things you didn't think about when you're little, we go to Fort Travis and just like crawl and explore and do stuff. And
just so much history in this area. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, to bring it back to where we normally start, man, was like, what got you into playing music, man? Like that's
Well, for me, I've been playing probably since I was like 12. So I found guitar in my mom's closet. It was my grandpa's guitar, and that's where it started. I just wanted to learn to play that thing.
Did anybody teach you, or you just?
I started learning on my own. My grandfather actually passed away before I was born, and so the guitar was in my mom's closet, and I found it like probably when I was 10 or 11, and I started kind of tinkering with it. But by 12, I started learning chords, but of course I heard music that I like too. Music, obviously, if you never heard music, you're not going to play music. So
watching Austin City Limits when we were kids, that really
we didn't have internet, so I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So
And Corey's grandfather was a songwriter too, so he kind of saw his songs growing up too, which was kind of
his poetry. I had a book of his poetry and stuff, and he was a hobo, Carney, a hobo, and all those things.
Gosh, I can't believe. I bet that is so interesting to read.
Well, I didn't ever know him, so it was the only way I could get to know him through my imagination, and I started using some of his songs and stuff, putting music to some of his poems and things like that.
I was going to ask that too.
Midway Lights is actually is one of his songs.
Oh wow!
But I made the music for it and the tune and all that. But he and my grandmother wrote that song. They met on the carnival actually in the 40s, and I think my uncle was actually born on the carnival. My mom wasn't, but that's how they met, and they worked on the carnival for a little bit, and then moved down here to this area for opportunity for work and stuff like that in the 50s, probably a little early 50s. But yeah, that's kind of how I started. Family is real important to me, or like history and family and things like that. It just really inspires me.
Yeah. Was your mom musical?
No, neither one of my parents are musical, but they love to dance, and they've always used to go to the Armadillo, go dancing all the time when I was a kid, and so
They're music lovers.
I've been around music my whole life, and they have, of course, had records, and I grew up listening to records and all their music and stuff too. So
I think everybody like in our age group is that way. Like we grew up listening to our parents' records.
Yeah, and I'm glad my parents had good taste in music. So
yeah,
and I have an older brother that loved his music too, and so I got into that also. So Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, that was me. That's how I got my older brother digging
the
through
first
his
Iron Maiden
records.
record. I'll put up against any record in the world.
My brother had all the posters, so all the artwork, inspired me growing up. I'm an artist also, so I draw and paint.
Well, what don't you do?
That's what I went to college for.
Really? For art?
Yeah, I have a degree in art.
If you look
awesome.
like at all of our like posts for when we play shows and stuff, Cory does all the artwork for all of our concert posters and all that. They're all handmade by.
We used to Xerox them and post them on posts.
Right.
Go paste them up in Houston. Yeah.
The first time we played Last Concert Cafe or whatever, I think we walked all up and down the street putting them on the post,
and 3 people came.
Yeah.
All of our family.
That's really cool though that you can. It's always good to have like creatives that come together for a band because they do more than one thing. You know.
Yeah. Well, I always loved like Cat Stevens' album covers. I don't know if y'all know Cat Stevens, but he would do the artwork for his covers, and so I always thought that was neat. To do your own artwork, too.
Well, you have like it kind of gives you like your own kind of brand, like like how
we've always been Grateful Dead fans and stuff like that, and I always liked how they have things that tie in, like the art ties into the music and all that too.
Yeah.
So.
Not so good at marketing though. I can do all that stuff.
Yeah, we're not the best marketers.
Amen. And how do you? That's like not a creative thing at all. I need to go to college for it. I got to learn, how to get underneath people's skin.
You just got to always be posting things, and
I'm not good at that. I try to be, but
it still doesn't always work.
No.
But I notice the people we know that do really well. I mean, outside of being talented, but there's a lot of talented folks that they're like always, always
on it all the time. Yeah,
you're like, man, like how do you do anything else? Because it's like, I guess you spend one day doing like 20 things, and I'm set for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Growing up at the tail end of that generation, where technology wasn't a big thing when I was young, so it's still not a big thing for me. So it's just kind of hard for me to keep up.
It wasn't a big thing for me, but I really got interested in computers. So I don't know. He's way more into it than I am. But
I was right there. My age group was
That's right. You're younger. I forget.
Yeah, like we were high school was when we started getting computers, and then like personal computer. I mean, there's been computers. I remember in kindergarten with giant floppy disks.
Oregon Trail.
That's what I'm saying. I remember one time getting a book. Like my grandfather worked for mobile, and he was always like, "Here, I'm gonna buy y'all this like the Tandy computer that had like the cassette. Well, you were using like cassette tapes before even floppies. And when y'all can learn to use that, then you'll show me how to do it. Like I'll pay for it, but y'all learn it." And I was like, okay. And they were spending an entire weekend typing out code from this book, and then spending like going back and having to reread everything. You're like, dude, we made this game. The picture's like this crazy looking thing. You open it, it's like just the old snake going around like blocks. Don't hit the blocks. And you're like, what? Like, the picture's this giant dune looking sandworm, and it's like you're fighting it. And it's like, nope, we're just going like a line going around squares. And I was like, great.
Yeah, the good old days.
8-bit technology.
But by college is when we had like Windows had really come into its own with like Windows 95 and then stuff, and then 98. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. We can do stuff.
By the time me and Cory always get equipment, it's already out of date by the time we start using it. So
you're using that vintage gear, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody thinks you're cool.
That's why I don't talk about.
We still have our first PA that we bought.
Yeah,
I bought.
Oh wow,
2001 or 2002 somewhere.
Well, it's the whole Jack White thing. It's like, oh, he's got all this cool vintage gear. It's like, no, he was poor, and that's like all he could afford. And then he plays all this GP stuff that everyone called junk 20 years ago, and now it's like, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah, all the Sears guitars. Yeah.
I remember seeing Airlines like for like $200 a Guitar Center. Then it's like
now they're like over $1,000 to get any of that.
Wild. Yeah, they're still made of fiberglass and come apart.
Thanks, Jack White.
Did you put medium gauge strings on? Well, cool. The neck just popped off. It's like, cool.
But Dan Electro's a good guitar still. Get those lipstick pickups. I like them.
You had one not too long ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I had that 12 string.
Yeah.
And I still regret getting rid of that. But
Yeah, an electric 12 string.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love the birds. So that's my like. I love that electric 12 string sound.
My fat fingers could play it. I bought a Rickenbacker 12 string on clearance because this is like right after my mom died. So the one time in life I had money I could just throw away. I got like $10K in life insurance. I was like, oh, I already pay all my own bills. I got $10K to just blow on a guitar.
Get you
like,
a Rickenbacker.
Yeah,
that's the only time you can ever get one. Yeah,
I think it was like $12.99 on clearance. I was like, this is great. And I was like, the same size as a normal one, so it's like my fat fingers couldn't. But I made like a G. It's like the octave of this would play the bottom of the next one, and it's like this sounds like shit. So I was gonna have him redo a bunch of stuff, and I was like, no, just trade it in. So I got that and some money back, and I was like, cool, I got money again.
Yeah.
But that Dan Electro was like I could play full chords and not mute every other string, so it was pretty neat.
That's cool. Yeah, I wanted to get a Rickenbacker bass forever, and then I played one. I was like, this doesn't play very good at all. So I killed that dream.
Yeah, they definitely.
I thought I was going to be Lemmy, but nah.
That's about the only thing. That's basically what they're good for. You see a lot of like heavy bands because they play like guitars. They're real trebly. They're real like.
Yeah.
You don't see like funk bands.
No.
No.
I do have an Rick James record where he has a Rickenbacker on the cover.
Yeah.
I know you also pronounce it correctly. I'm like, no. I know it's how you're Rickenbacker. That's the proper pronunciation. I'm always
Is it really? You misled me.
I refuse to say it that way.
Most people say it the way I say it, but the family's actual way of pronouncing their name is Backer.
Oh, okay.
So that's true. So we get to learn. I had to feel like drop that bit of knowledge.
Yeah. Corey had to teach us something.
It's a learning podcast.
Yeah.
Occasionally we like to drop in a lesson, like today's lesson.
I still say Bacher.
Yeah, I just
Colonel Bacher over here.
I'm too lazy to I'm gonna have to relearn, stop myself every time I'm about to say it and be like, it's Backer.
Tomato. Yeah.
Well, I guess we kind of got off a little bit.
I was just about to ask. How did?
Well, we kind of got. Well, I could finish a little bit talking about how we got together. I didn't even get to Kevin, how I met Kevin or whatever, or how the band started. But it was pretty much after college. I moved to Rosenberg, Richmond, and that's where we met. We were working in a country club out there, and we found out we both played music.
Yeah, Frank Beard was a member of that country club from ZZ Top too.
He
Just name drop. But we met. Yeah, we met working in a restaurant together, and then Cory.
Start a band.
Cory wrote songs and played them for me, and I was like, man, those are kind of decent. And so we started kind of getting it together and everything. And my brother played drums, so he played with us for a long time, up until a few years ago when he passed away. And now we got kind of a different group. My dad plays drums with us now, which is cool. And then we have another guy, Blaine, that plays slide guitar and dobro and stuff with us. And then my dad was a band director. He can play multiple instruments, so he can play saxophone. And
we just saw him last night downtown in the Worst House restaurant. The jazz band plays there every last Sunday
of the month,
or something like that.
And they got like a big band, and he plays baritone sax in that. So
that was a nice show.
But yeah, he can play. He plays accordion sometimes with us. He does all sorts of stuff. So we're kind of like working in a new.
It's our fun band,
group.
Yeah.
Party band. We all sing now. When we first started, it was just me singing, so it's kind of hard. People get bored hearing the same person all the time. But.
And harmony is really I know y'all do harmonies too, and that adds so much. So we've started, but playing bass and singing, it took me a while to get that down.
Same here. Yeah, it's not easy.
But we're singing together now and doing we got a little bit of a different sound now, but it's we're working with
hopefully we're better. Hopefully we're getting better.
Trying to get back in the studio and get some more recordings down and all that too. So, but
awesome.
We've been playing for 20 years together. Me and Cory for sure. So
wow.
Yeah, we miss our little brother Steven though, man. He was on that album. He's on there. It sounds so amazing.
Yeah,
he's a killer drummer. That's what I was like, man.
Yeah, he was very good. But but we're still doing it. Still doing our thing. Cory, we write a lot. I mean, we Cory writes songs, and then I come in and we kind of put the music together and make it work and everything.
Yeah, we realized just yesterday we got together that we've forgotten more of our songs than we realized.
Yeah, we got a lot of songs that so many songs that we've forgotten. We just got tons of songs.
It's kind of hard to perform some of them without Steven too. Some of the songs on the album that we just probably won't be able to play again like that,
but we got all new songs too, so
yeah. I got enough to record 3 albums right now.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we just got to get in there and do it.
That's impressive. Well, yeah.
Whether they're good songs or not, I don't know.
we can record 3 terrible albums right now if we want to. Yeah,
it's kind of it's like you have to trust that you have good taste. It's like, I have good taste, so I like these songs. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
We hope so. That's
kind of how we always talk. It's like
we like
the music that we like, so our music must be good too, right?
Right. All the weird guys like us love all this.
Yeah.
During the reporting process, it's always like, I don't think this one's gonna make it.
Yeah.
Those kind of.
We've only been in the studio twice. I think maybe 3 times, but we went at Lee College. We recorded there in 2010. One of our friends was he was getting his degree in sound engineering, and he needed a project. So I think that was our first experience in the studio. I think
that's cool.
That was a good experience.
We recorded our album in Austin at Westfall Records. Yeah. I don't know if they're still out there, but. And then
we just wanted Austin on our record.
Yeah, we just wanted to say that we went to record it in Austin. Yeah.
Why not, right?
We recorded it in a trash can, but it was in Austin.
It sounded good, man. That's all that matters.
Yeah. We're really proud of that record. We are. Yeah.
It's always fun. You go to all these old studios. We travel, we'll go by places, and you're like, Sun Studios, tiny. Muscle Shoals sound, it's like, here's where they took all their sound bafflings, where they glued the things that meters came into the electric meters. Then what was it, where they recorded all the Motown records, just like a basement. Stax was an old movie theater.
I've seen that building before. I know it's really not you don't think it's even Sun and all that, they're really small buildings, and you don't expect that they did all those amazing recordings there.
The weird thing about Stax is it was a movie theater, so the floor is slanted for the seating. So you'll see the drum stand has one short leg, one long leg, and you're standing there. I'm sure band people there had killer legs because they were always standing. All their pressure on one and switching places.
They're up a ramp.
Why is this so hard?
Posted up in the Adirondack chairs. So but it was one of those where that's what I'm always, when people go, we got to go to this proper studio. I'm like, all these great records you grew up with were recorded kind of in shitty places.
It's not the studio, it's the people making the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Are doing it. Yeah.
It's like was it the Buzz Osborne thing? It's like Jimi Hendrix recorded through a boombox would still be Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah,
it'd still be like, holy shit, what's that guy doing?
Yeah,
true.
That's the truth.
Well, Kevin, how did you get started in music? You obviously grew up in a musical family.
My dad was a musician. He was a band director. He was at a Baptist church growing up. He was a music minister. So I kind of got started singing in church, playing guitar, playing bass guitar in church and stuff with hymns and all that. And then
how old were you when you picked up a bass?
I started playing guitar and bass probably 12 years old or so, maybe a little bit after that. So so around there.
Wow.
Yeah, but
you didn't buy a bass until we started.
Yeah, until I bought my first bass when I first heard Cory's songs that he wrote himself. I went and bought a bass the next day. And
wow!
We could have 2 guitar players.
I started getting his bass parts to his songs the next day.
Because I like to play bass too, so I wrote a lot of bass parts in the beginning, and Kevin learned them really quick.
And then and then all the new songs that we did, we kind of I started writing new bass parts and adapting his old bass parts and stuff. Yeah, so because Cory had a whole repertoire of music. Repertoire. That's a good word, huh? of music before I met him. So
I used to hit up the open mics like early 2000s. I'd go to all of them and stuff at one time, like just by myself. It's fun, but it's a lot better than being a band.
Back when like Cosmos was open and stuff.
Yeah, Cosmo. I met Mark Zeus, all those guys, King Gaines, and all those guys.
Oh yeah,
I know all those guys.
Well, for us, that's always the best way to go try out new stuff and kind of learn it before you get up in front of people who paid money or at a venue that paid you to play. And you're like, I'm going to try this song out. Who knows what'll happen? And you're like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, God, like it's not ready.
No.
What? No, dude, that has happened, man. Recently, like Lost in the Static, trying to play that live the first time was like,
yeah, we've done that quite a few times with some new songs.
Oh yeah,
or old songs.
Yeah.
It's funny, no matter how much you sing it around the house, the moment you hear it back through like a monitor, you're like, this sounds totally different. I don't know what to do.
Couldn't help that you had 10 beers before you got up.
Yeah.
We like to drink.
It's supposed to help.
There's a line where it helps.
I was about to say there's a threshold. It's like one too little and one too much.
Yeah.
But definitely. You never know until you're there what the threshold is.
Crap, I passed it.
It happens, man. It happens to the best of us.
Well, I'm glad to hear y'all are like, it's very cool that you guys just met working together. I don't think I've ever found a musical relationship with somebody I worked with. So
it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still going.
Yeah, we're still doing it. Yeah, after all these years.
There's been a few times where we thought maybe we shouldn't be doing it, but
you can't quit. You just gotta keep on. I mean, all these songs are in us. We just got to keep on, letting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always my thing. It's like, even if we weren't playing out, I'd still be sitting at home playing guitar, writing songs.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So it's like part of who I am.
Go out and do it and be a jackass in front of people. Why not?
Was Guy Clark say a song isn't a song until somebody hears it? So you just got to play them out and let people hear them, and that's what we try to do.
Nah, it's awesome. It's also funny. That's like my brother. I got into music. Really, it was my brother bought it from playing. So my brother bought a guitar from a dude he cooked with at a restaurant. Brought it home. Was like a classical with an electric guitar amp. It was.
Yeah. Growing up, I played. My brother was a drummer, and I played guitar and bass, so we played a lot together growing up too. So that kind of helped me get into music also. And he was really into all the music that I wasn't into, like REM, and he's the first guy that my younger brother's the first guy that showed me Townes Van Zandt and a lot of stuff like that. So
Kevin was listening to Fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was listening to Primus.
Yeah, but
Daniel, introduced you to Sunvolt, right?
Yeah, Daniel's one of the guys.
Those guys are good. I like them.
Yeah, because I was totally at the time like that's the reason I bought a bass. The first instrument I bought myself was watching like a Primus video on MTV late one night. And like, I want to do that.
Yeah,
and it was a lot different when you had the bass trying to do anything.
We're big Les Claypool fans.
I once we were at a festival at Free Press Summerfest, and Primus was playing, and I passed Les Claypool and I touched him on his arm, and I said, "Les, is that you?" And then his bodyguard pushed me out of the way. But I did. I touched Les Claypool on the arm one time.
He was going to see Willie Nelson.
Yeah, he was. Les Claypool was walking to go see Willie Nelson play too. It was pretty awesome.
We got to see the best Free Press. That was awesome.
Yeah. And then the Flaming Lips played all of Dark Side of the Moon that Free Press Summerfest.
Snoop Dogg was there. I mean, it was crazy.
That was a pretty great festival. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm so jealous that you guys grew up playing. I grew up in church, but I grew up singing. Mm-hmm. Like my mom played piano sparingly, very sparingly. So I grew up with a piano in the house, but I never learned to really play an instrument until I met Sam. And what was I, 40?
Yeah.
Well, that's
so.
Well, we kind of learned the same way too, though. He might have grown up with a wizard for a father, but he did learn on his.
Yeah, I kind of picked it up on my own, and I wasn't going to listen to anything my dad taught me anyway, so I had to learn it on my own, so
that's kind of what we had in common also. We kind of learned,
and that's kind of how we get our sound, is we kind of learned it on our own and do our own thing, so it's a little different, our music's, but I think that's kind of why it is, because we kind of did it on our own and figured it out how to sound the way we do on our own. So
sometimes it's hard for people to jam with us because our songs aren't very That's predictable.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, but sometimes it's hard though, because like a lot of people want to play with you, and you don't know how to tell them. You don't know how to tell them, like, well, you're not going to be able to because you don't know the form of the song, and it's not your fault. But but they'll be like, yeah, we'll jam with you.
Yeah, it's not a 1-4-5. Sorry.
Right? No. Yeah.
And we're in that area, where country music probably rules everything around here. But I mean, I don't have nothing against it, but it's just we
love country
seems
music.
Like that's what most people want to hear, around. But
that's not really what we do. So it's kind of a lot of times hard to mix with other bands when you're playing like showcases and stuff, because we're doing kind of something different than most. Like we'd play with a lot of metal bands, and that didn't fit a lot of the times, and then we'd play with a lot of country bands, and that we don't really fit with that either. So
or jam bands or anything like
kind
that.
of I guess we're kind of more of a jam band than anything. But
we used to make our songs like 7 minutes.
Yeah, we used to
8-minute songs. Not anymore.
We used to really try to like make one song last a full set.
I've gotten the 3-minute and 33-second thing down. Like I can write a song 2 pages, and I know it's probably going to be within 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
So.
Oh, that's perfect. I say this all the time, but it was really Sam that like made me think about it. But when we play shows in other states or whatever, like we don't want to be on a bill with 2 other bands that sound just like us. Somebody's going to get bored. So I want to play with a punk band. I want to play with a country band. I'd love to play with a blues band. Like just some different sounds.
Yeah,
different
for sure.
All right, we have Health's here.
Come on in, buddy.
Health had the wrong time in his calendar.
Party.
And he's just showing up.
Look who's late to the party.
Good to have you.
All right, welcome to the party, Mr. Michael Health.
Thanks.
So this is Kevin and Corey.
Hi, guys.
Of the band Oddtoddler. You've met them before.
We've seen you perform.
Love the dobro.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe one day I'll learn how to play the damn thing. Or I'll keep faking it till I make it.
But that we were talking about was like the whole like mixed up bills, and it's true because nothing's worse than like, hey, I'm gonna go see this band that does this obscure thing, and it's like, all right, we found 2 bands in town that do the same obscure thing, and it's like by the time the headliner's on, you're like, all right, boring. Like,
Definitely.
We went and saw the Mavericks recently, and the guys that opened up for them, what were they called? The
Hog Slop String Band.
It was a weird mix up.
They were awesome.
Kind of a weird mix up.
They were great.
But to have the Mavericks and then have this weird little bluegrass band from Georgia, like it was kind of
they were great, and they were cussing the whole time. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, I had to buy my wife a shirt, the Hog Slop String Band shirt. It was great.
Yeah.
We don't know those guys, but they were awesome. Yeah. They were awesome. But the Mavericks were obviously awesome. But
I remember being young and going to see Modest Mouse, and like the Hackensaw Boys opened for them. So it's like you have full out straight bluegrass band, and then like like Seattle like indie rock band. You're like, dude, but it worked. It was cool.
Well, didn't Dwight Yoakam used to do that too? He would travel with the punk rockers.
Yeah. I think my wife saw Justin Townes Earl with suicidal tendencies one time.
I saw Justin Townes open up by himself for the Social Distortion.
No, that's what it was. Social Distortion and Justin Townes Earl. That's what it was.
It was just like I remember watching that show and be like, holy shit, this guy's amazing.
Like, what a cool combo.
Like the balls of this guy, because there was a punk band before him, then him, and then so I was like, dude, this guy's just owning it.
Yeah.
So it works.
She got me a shirt, and I still wear that Justin Townes Earl shirt. I love. Yeah, he was great. Rest in peace. Yes.
I mean, there were nights me and Kim doing duo with like loud. One band was like Sonic Youth band, one was like punk band, and we sold more merch and shit that night. We were like, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't a duo and then like another duo and then another acoustic person. Like you stood out. Okay, cool, man. I was different. I don't realize I like that till tonight.
It breaks up the coffee shop vibes.
Yeah, and it also makes something you would never listen to on your own. Like because I know I don't like this. Then how do you know? Just because I saw the genre and I was like, no. And then you see the band, you're like, dude, like I didn't realize I liked that kind of music.
Yeah,
like there's actually some cool shit in there. I think that goes a long way of just having someone expose you to something you wouldn't normally like.
Well,
that's how I found everything I've ever liked.
I was about to say, that's the only way you find good music is if somebody shows it to you. You usually don't find like stuff. The best music I've ever listened to was shown to me by somebody who loved something, and that's why they show it to you because they love it, and that's what makes it great.
the mainstream stuff never cuts it for me. So
Yeah.
I got to be shown something extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, even seeing like with the Prine shirt, like I remember the first time I heard like, maybe 2 songs of John Prine's, I just wasn't ready for that at that point in my life.
Yeah. When I was young, I wasn't.
Yeah, it's like this too country, but then I heard someone else do a song. Like, this song rules. Like, that's a John Prine song. Like, what?
I fought against the Prine thing in Houston for a long time, but now it just makes sense.
Yeah.
People cover his songs like across genres. You're like, dude, like it just, you have to get that one person that's like, like even how I describe our songs, it's like, there's nothing, that crazy with them. It's like, we'll fuck around at practice and be like, here's the distortion, here's how we're doing this. Like, listen, it's like a punk ska song now. Like, here's how we can play this. Like, I'm just presenting song. It can be anything.
Yeah, that's kind of how we do it.
That's
too.
how we cover songs too. We'll do it.
Yeah,
we try to if we do cover songs, we try to definitely make them our own.
Whack them out
a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Sam won't listen to a song. If we're going to cover it, we don't listen to it like as a way to cover it.
Yeah, you don't want that to influence you.
Most covers are just like, I got through restringing a guitar and started playing some chords. Like, wait, isn't that this song? I love when people are like, dude, I like the way y'all switch the verses around. It's like, oh, dude, did I do that? Like, that's how I remember it.
Yeah.
So sorry, like
totally on purpose.
I haven't listened to it in a while.
We have this one song that we cover called "Girl in the War," and it's a Josh Ritter tune. And
Girl in the Water or War?
Girl in the War.
Okay.
And I have never heard Josh Ritter's version of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't sound very similar. It's all like arpeggiated, like mandolin and stuff.
Yeah.
We're like wall of noise. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we cover a song that our buddy who passed away, Steve Reno, used to cover.
Yeah, Steve.
Finest mustache in Bayou City.
Just a Bum.
Just a Bum.
Yeah.
Who wrote that song originally?
Zach Brown?
No,
not
Zach Brown.
It's like
Greg Brown.
Greg Brown.
Anyway.
Zach's less famous brother.
Anyway.
Old Gregory.
The Louisiana guy, Greg Brown.
Yeah, but we never heard the original of it, but we always heard Steve Reno do it, and we had to cover it after he passed away. So now that's a regular in our set.
Nice.
And it's a song about being a bum, so that
we like that one.
applies to us pretty well.
We didn't realize how small this world is. We used to do a thing out at the Mucky Duck, like 16 years ago. 2008, no, like 17 years ago. And we used to always, Front Porch Society, and Steve used to play with us.
Yeah,
out there
we
doing,
love
like,
Steve
song
Reno,
circles.
yeah.
Soft shoulders, dangerous curves.
Yeah.
What a great song! What a great song, man.
We like Wayne Wilkerson too.
Yeah. All that. We used to go to the Mucky Duck open mic quite a bit. That's a good one. I saw me and Larry McMurtry or James McMurtry, Larry's son James.
You know who he is, right?
We shared the toilet in the Mucky Duck one time. Yeah, well, some guy was
blowing it up
in the stall. Yeah, and then James McMurtry he was waiting to use the toilet. I don't even know why I'm telling the story, but he was waiting to use the toilet, and the guy was blowing it up, and then he had to leave, and he came back in. He was wearing a surgical mask when he came back in.
No,
So
that's great.
that was maybe the greatest experience I've ever had.
I'm glad you told that story.
Anyway.
Dude in the stall brought his A game.
Y'all know how the bathroom with Mucky Duck is.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
all-
it's very small.
It's like
Yeah, but anyway, that's my story about James McMurtry.
Everything I know about boat racing is from pissing at the Mucky Duck.
Yeah. That's a great picture in there. Yeah,
Right,
for
it's
sure.
like-
I've looked at that thing a million times. Yeah,
I know.
I love it.
There
Yeah.
we go that way. For those of you who've never visited the men's room,
Yeah, that was me.
I think what it is, like, it's like a global like yacht race or whatever, some sort
Maybe a
of boat race.
sailboat or something.
Yeah, say
too.
a sailboat race, and they have the entire chart of like what
Oh, yeah.
boats have won certain things. So you're just like looking like,
It makes you feel like you're in it. It's pretty
it's
awesome.
that far, and it's like a mirror, so you have to kind of watch yourself awkwardly while reading it.
And James McMurtry's in there too. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible.
He is peed there in a surgical mask.
I also saw Bill Kirchen there one time, but I didn't share the bathroom with Bill Kirchen.
My favorite, I love telling this story. My favorite show that we ever saw there was, I think it was our second musical day. So Sam took me to see, it was Malcolm Holcomb first, I think was the
Yeah.
first show we saw there. And then we saw John Moreland.
Oh, cool.
And
He's great.
Yeah, he's insanely good. But I just kept thinking, like, as a person of size who's very conscious of my size, I just kept thinking, like, how is he going to get up on stage? Because that place was so crowded back in the day. Like, their tables were so close together. And so he walks out and, of course, has to try to, like, squeeze through all the tables. And people are just, like, kind of, like, looking backwards and giving him this look and, you know, just kind of, But man, when he got off that stage, people got out of the way, moved their damn chairs. Like, oh, Mr. Moreland, please.
Well, no one knew what he looked like. Like, he's this guy trying to squeeze through.
With a bunch of head tattoos.
And then afterwards, it was like, oh, hey, buddy, let me get. But this last time we saw him there a couple weeks ago with some friends. And
he brought the A game. He can command with just himself. He's really great. Yeah.
I'm just enjoying his grumpy old man era. He's in. Oh, yeah. He's like arguing with everybody, and I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, I did see that. him and that one guy are getting into it with each other. That was pretty funny.
Well, he's generally just such a quiet guy in social media.
Oh, dude, but he's like he's loving the algorithm right now, man.
Oh, dude, he's doing some fine like online stuff. But I also dig that the fact, like, now that it's starting to go up and all these people are showing up to hate him, he's like, oh, you should check out this band. Like, they're actually good. And like just mashing.
Yeah.
These people are original. You should give them a listen.
True.
Good times.
The mainstream music doesn't do it for him either.
Yeah.
I've noticed something he does on his social media though recently. If an artist, like, you know, someone on our level covers one of his songs live and they post it and they tag him, he'll repost it on his story.
That's cool.
That was really cool, man.
Someone to record when we cover.
So
I was about to say,
we're gonna keep doing it every week. He's gonna get one.
Yeah, for sure.
No one's ever recorded us doing "Oh Julia."
No, I don't think so.
I wonder if you can hear that. Judy's trying to dig through the bedroom door.
Can let her out.
Nah, fuck that. Dude, we're almost done. We got like another 10 minutes.
Don't worry, he's going to edit that out.
Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll leave it in.
Leave it raw.
You're a lazy fuck.
On the way here, we were saying all the things we were not supposed to say. We were like, can't say that, can't say this, don't say that.
Oh, no, we say whatever.
Right.
We're not monetized.
Like, don't tell that story about James McMurtry and
I told him not to do it.
While that guy was taking
we don't run ads or anything. That was our deal. Like, we're doing this just to get the word out for like folks we know or
we appreciate that.
Yeah.
This has been fun already. I love it.
Put my journalism training to use that I never got to use in real life. So.
You might as well. Yeah, you went to school for it.
I know.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask about the books that are on the couch between y'all.
Oh,
you told us.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the final question. You're jumping ahead.
I didn't realize. Okay, I thought that they were.
We can talk about books for another hour.
Sorry.
Yeah, we love reading books.
Well, see, then hell, we'll just jump into it, then we can do some stuff afterwards. So this is supposed to be
This question may take us a while.
This is now the final-ish question.
Final-ish.
Musicians do read.
So this is, like I say, we've been closing every episode, which I say we've been closing. There's plenty of times we went past, but to give us one book, one podcast, and one like artist or album that you recommend that people may not have heard, or even if you're like, I don't know, like some band everyone's heard of, it's like this means this, you can shine some new light on it or whatever. So we'll go ahead and go with y'all, man.
Well, Corey, you go first.
All right. Well, since there's two of us, we brought two books.
Good.
And they literally brought real books.
Yeah, we brought them with us
for the inspiration.
We bring these books with us everywhere we go.
Well, I'll leave that one for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I brought Trout Fishing in America. Richard Brodigan. I think people should start reading Richard Brodigan again. If you ever have, you ought to.
He might be the greatest writer ever.
One of the greatest writers ever. He's also cool looking. He's always on the cover of his books.
He's got a great mustache.
And it's just a fun, whimsical, imaginative way of writing that he has. And I just was one of the first things I thought of. I thought of Steinbeck first, but Kevin's like, I'm going to talk about
We're big Steinbeck fans, too.
And then, of course, we heard Tex talking about Larry McMurtry. Well, obviously, we love
We love any Larry McMurtry book, too.
But Steinbeck's probably one of the number one. Just read any Steinbeck book.
We're going to leave this book with y'all to have, but this is John Steinbeck's last book that he wrote. It's Travels with Charlie. It's just a book he wrote about him taking a camper and his poodle across America, and just
meeting people and talking to
story.
People in different places.
It's the last book that Steinbeck ever wrote, but we'll leave that with y'all.
Oh, thanks, man.
He really believed in America, and he believed it was in the 60s when he wrote that. He believed that people were still friendly, even at that time when it was hard. He said the times were hard. I think it was right around the time that maybe even Kennedy was assassinated or something. man. But the world must have seemed, horrible at the time. And he wrote that book about the human spirit again, which it was he wrote when he was a little bit older. So
it's great. But
it's a great
read
book.
any John Steinbeck book and read any Richard Brodigan book, and you'll be doing.
Well, then
okay.
it just happens they're both from the south part of California. It's not any coincidence, but they're both those California guys.
So am I.
I know, I've seen that book a million times.
This one's, I would give you this, but this is from one of my mentors gave me this one, so I just wanted you to have the reference. But Trout Fishing America is probably his most famous book, and he became like a cult figure kind of in the 60s and 70s, and then he was writing novels with a lot of the other guys, like what were some of those guys that we were just learning about?
Harrison.
But he just wasn't. He kind of lost his popularity. Like after the hippie movement and stuff in San Francisco, all that kind of burned out. People kind of forgot about him, and he ended up getting really depressed, and he ended up killing himself. But he's got a lot of awesome books anyway.
Another book. I know we've already done 2 books, but another book about a figure in Texas you could read. It's called The Guy That Started Lukenbach. It's called Hondo My Father, and Becky Crouch, Hondo Crouch's daughter, wrote that book about Hondo Crouch, the guy that started Lukenbach, and he was just
it's an amazing
person from Texas.
Y'all know Lukenbach.
So if you ever find the book Hondo My Father, just read it, because he is one of the most amazing figures that you'll ever read about. He's just so great. And she's got another book too. I haven't read her second book, but Becky Crouch, Hondo My Father. Everybody should read that book.
Cool.
And we don't really do podcasts too much, but we listen to we watch everything Otis Gibb does.
Oh yeah.
So we love all those Otis Gibb videos.
Yeah, like we said earlier, technology. I don't go on and listen to a lot of podcasts either, but I appreciate music stuff and
all the Otis Gibb stuff we watch. Pretty much anything about music we'll listen to and watch. And what was the
musical recommendation?
Oh my gosh,
Mike Watt.
We got okay. If you've never,
Mike Watt.
Do y'all know the Minutemen?
Yes.
The band, the punk band Minutemen.
Mike Watt's one of our heroes.
Mike Watt, the bass player for the Minutemen, is probably one of my favorite musicians, human beings ever. But if you have never listened to an album of his called Hyphenated Man, you need to listen to that album. It's 30 songs, and they range from like 20 seconds to a couple of minutes long, and it's the whole album is in reference to a Hieronymus Bosch painting,
Garden of Earthly Delights,
or
whatever it's
and
called.
it is probably the best.
Have y'all ever seen Hieronymus Bosch's painting? It's got all the people in hell and all that.
I saw Mike Watt do that song that on the tour where he did that album straight through.
Yeah, we saw
did
that too.
Were you
there?
at Fitzgerald's?
It was upstairs behind the Continental.
Okay. We saw him at the bottom floor of Fitzgerald's.
White Oak. We saw him at Fitzgerald's.
Before it closed down, he did the whole Hyphenated Man. There was maybe 12 people in the audience with us, and it changed my life. Like, Mike Watt's the greatest. And listen to any Minutemen, Double Nickels on the Dime, any Firehose record, anything with Mike Watt in it, any of the any of the Stooges stuff that he played on, anything. Like, Mike
Watt's saw him at Fitzgerald's. When we first saw him, we've seen him 5 times.
Yeah.
When we first saw him, we came into Fitzgerald's, the downstairs, and like there was this little old man at the bar, and he was like,
and he was wearing this like shawl. He was like corner and walking around, and we were like, who the hell is this guy? And he was like walking like real and then all of a sudden it was Mike Watt. It was the same guy. It was so funny.
I guess he was doing it on purpose. I guess
we saw him play with the Meat Puppets one time. One of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
It was at the upstairs.
We saw that. We were there. Yeah, we were there.
I
think that was the show I brought Kim to see him.
I wondered if this was going to be one of those podcasts where we figure out that we were in the same place at the same time.
Didn't know it.
Well, I was glad to see the Meat Puppets playing again. That was awesome.
I love the Meat Puppets too. The Brothers Meat. Yeah. So anyway, that's our musical recommendation. Just listen to anything that Mike Watt's been on.
Yeah.
Now we got to see him like right after the album came out. I think he did in store at Cactus. Always tell them that's the reason. I'm like, I don't care. We're not canceling shows or doing anything like that. Like, he had like tore a knee, like one of his knee tendons.
Yeah.
And was like, well, we can't cancel the tour. We got he did 51 shows in 53 days.
And he still tours in a white van.
Yeah.
Like he does everything in a white. Like every time I've seen him, his van's parked outside the venue, like right at the front door.
In it until
it's so awesome.
Have y'all seen that documentary We Jam Econo?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's one of the greatest documentaires ever. Yeah.
Sam used to have a band called Econo.
Nice. Nice. We love you even more now.
But yeah, we used to. Was like that night. I remember he came up and these kids are just talking in front of the stage. He's wearing like this huge knee brace. He'd already come upstairs, and he just like grabs these two kids' shoulders, puts his good leg on stage, and just pushes up off of them and jumps on stage. And I'm just like, how brave are you to just like, those kids look strong, and like just grabs them and uses them to get on stage.
I'll give you one more Mike White story. Me and Cory saw Mike White
at the church
at this old church in Houston with
the bass player
what's the girl from Black Flag?
Yeah, Kira.
Kira. They did the Dose. You know, they had that album Dose that because they were married.
Yeah,
and it was just them two at this old church in Houston.
Front pew or something.
I don't even know. I don't even know where it was or anything, but it was just this old church. They sold out. Me and Cory show up, and they're like, "Man, we're sold out.
There's no room."
And me and Cory like immediately like have the saddest look on our face.
Probably came down.
And the guy at the door is like, he's like, well, okay, guys, if y'all want to sit on the floor, come on in. Just sit on the floor because man, you just made our day, dude. We got to sit there and watch that show. It was so awesome. Such a great show.
We sat on the floor.
Yeah, we just went and saw MSSV about a month ago or so, which is like him.
Yeah, we saw
the Italian band or
it was the other one. We've seen him like in so many like
the one where I was sick. I don't want to talk about that time.
Oh yeah. Cory was throwing up in the bathroom one time the whole time, but he did listen to the whole show through the wall of the bathroom. So that was cool.
That was a great show.
We saw him play with an Italian band one time that was amazing too.
The drummer was in the front of the stage. It was
and they
so cool.
played behind the drum. Man, it was so. Every time I've seen him, it just blows my mind. Yeah, but anyway, sorry.
Now
we love Mike Watt.
So y'all should get Mike Watt on this podcast.
He'd drive over here from Pedro.
Can we just do the whole interview in his van?
Oh man, that would be great.
I love with Watt. You'd have to do like before we started, you'd have to do like a primer on like the language he uses.
Yeah.
He grew up in like a Navy family, so he uses all these like weird Navy slang terms constantly.
Yeah, flying the flannel.
You popped 7 bells this morning. What?
We're all Fogarty's children.
We're all Fogarty's children.
Oh yeah,
that's the greatest sentence in We Jam Econo is he goes, "We're all Fogarty's children." When they ask him about the flannel shirts.
That's the one that the documentary you made me watch.
Yeah,
okay.
It's got that nice acoustic thing at the end too. I love that part when they're just what's his name? Hurley's playing the
George Hurley
box or whatever.
Oh my God, George Hurley's one of the greatest drummers ever.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That guy should be. They should have a statue of him somewhere. He's just fantastic. Listen to Minutemen and Firehose. Firehose is fantastic too, and they don't get enough credit. That iteration of that band, but yeah,
probably one of the best rhythm sections out of like the California punk scene, period. I mean,
without a doubt.
I just wish,
and talking about different bands, like we're different. Y'all play different kind of stuff. They were a different band. There's nothing like them. They might be a punk band, but they're not like everybody else.
Sometimes I wish the recording quality was better on some of their albums. Like sometimes it seems like you don't get to hear all of what Mike's doing. It's like playing so much, but especially on CDs, I still have CDs.
Oh no, but there's points where you're just like, because they were recording a lot of that shit like there's 2 tracks, you know, like we got one doing a bunch of like drum mics going to one track, guitar, bass, and vocals to the other, and you're like,
there's a great picture of me and Cory and my brother, our old drummer, and we're all just hanging on Mike White, just like all hugging him all together, and he's like. He's just every time I met him, he's the coolest guy ever. Yeah. So anyway,
he was the one who was so friendly to Ian, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my son like played upright bass and like orchestra and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he
Cool.
loved
That's
Mike
awesome.
Watt. So we got to be like, hey, bass man, like hung out with him and like
I
talk to him.
I got an old EBOL bass, and every time I see him, I talk because he used to play an EBOL back in the days, and we always talk about that bass every time I see him. Anyway,
Now I know he probably killed the people at Gibson. Because like when he had his bassist stolen from when they stole all the Stooges stuff, they gave him like out of like a vault like a 60 something like EB3, and he went and he tore out all the pickups and put in all of his stuff that he set it up exactly how his were.
God love
and I'm
him.
just like, I love him. That he was just
trash man.
I love him.
Right, he's like, I'm gonna set it up exactly how my stolen one was. I'm sure they're like, in
that documentary when he's talking about he didn't even know that you were supposed to tune your strings. He's like, I just thought some people liked them loose and some liked them tight, you know.
I think it was good to verbalize that because so many people are embarrassed of the fact when they first started playing.
I was like, I related so much to that. He's like, he didn't even know what a bass was. You know, it's like, what is this?
I thought you just played the first 4 strings on the guitar to play bass.
Right.
He's got bridge cables on it, man. I thought you played bass. I do.
Well, that's the biggest promotion so far. Hopefully everybody listens to Mike Watt and watches that Jammy Kano.
Hell yeah.
That was going to take a minute.
No, that's good though, man. Watt's like a hero, man.
We look for people like that all the time. We want to be around people like that. I mean, it's nice to meet y'all.
Who do it because they love it.
Yeah. Well, and did you have good taste also?
And they keep doing it.
He had a great quote. I remember I posted one time and I can never find it again. But he's like, for being in bands where it's a bunch of dudes just jamming with dudes instead of a bunch of, and he's just saying like, it's just a bunch of dudes like doing it, man. He goes, you don't need all these virtuosos. It's going to be too much. He goes, you just got to have a bunch of dudes who just want to get together and make some sound.
That's how you make. That's how the best music's made.
That's how we get together.
That,
I was always like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
Just like the band in Sling Blade. That's how we do it.
We gotta practice more. No, we don't, Randy.
We ain't got no band, Randy.
I just feel like that whole scene there, that was Dwight Yoakam being honest. That's how Dwight Yoakam treats his real band.
They said he's really that way. Yeah.
Shout out to Ian Moore's in that scene too. Ian Moore's in that scene. Yeah. Maybe one of the greatest movies ever.
I would say Let's start talking about Sling Blade.
Billy Bob Thornton, like that's a hell of an actor right there.
I will tell you, as someone who got to open for him twice.
What? No way.
Yeah,
the Boxmasters?
Yep.
The hobo?
That's so cool, man. That's so
and
cool.
So it was great. And so all these people were there, and we finally got to like go say hi to him and all that stuff. And you finally get to meet Billy Bob Thornton. And so you're like, this guy used to be married to Angelina Jolie. This is a famous dude. This is amazing. And so I finally got in front of him, and I'm looking him dead in the eye, and I didn't know what to say, and I was just like, I guess I write some French fried taters. And dude, Billy Bob Thornton stopped, turned, walked away. I got shunned, and I was so embarrassed.
What's the worst possible?
That's like
thing
grabbing Les Claypool and being like, Les, is that you? And then getting his bodyguard to push you away. But hey, Mike Watt. When I touched Mike Watt, he didn't do that. He was. Mike Watt was
embarrassed
awesome.
for you right now.
We love Billy Bob though. He's Arkansas boy.
Oh my god.
Oh man,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Rick Springfield didn't do that to me. I'm just saying. You should have better idols.
Yeah.
Rick wow. Okay.
You gotta find people who want the attention. No.
Right.
Corey Feldman didn't do that when I met him. He was awesome. Corey Feldman.
Kevin went to Corey Feldman's
I've seen
concert.
Corey Feldman twice.
Did you see that? Was it the Skeeter show in Sugarland?
I saw him at the Wildcatter.
Oh, the I played Wildcatter, dude.
Dude, what a weird show. And all he does is he plays songs from his movies. Yeah. It was so awesome. Bizarre. And then I got free tickets to go see Limp Bizkit of all bands, and Corey Feldman is opening up for Limp Bizkit. Yep. And talk about the weirdest concert I've ever been to in my life. But I had a lot of fun at it. I got really drunk. It was just the weirdest concert ever. Yeah. But
I just wish I would have caught him at he performed at the walkway at the Sugarland Skeeters Stadium.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Like, I would have paid money to be there.
After game concert.
After the game concert, man, it was like all feedback and the DAT tapes didn't line up and everything.
I wish we could have went to that. Me and Ian were like, that was.
He's wearing like a mirror outfit too the whole time.
Yes.
It was.
Did he do a guitar solo?
Yeah, he did. He
The
did.
guitar solo,
I think the lead singer of Limp Bizkit sat on the stage and watched him do it, dude. It was a weird show, man. That dude Riff Raff was the MC.
Oh, wow.
That rapper. Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty weird.
That's an experience right there.
Yeah, I'd recommend going and see Mike Watt over that anytime. Anytime you can.
Sometimes you just can't help what concerts you go to. You know,
You get free tickets.
Yeah,
You gotta
free
go see
tickets,
the
man.
musical.
Corey saw Guns N' Roses one time with Buck Cherry opened up for him, and that was
Oh
about the
my
worst show
God.
I've ever seen.
thought-
And it was when Axl Rose really got out of he was just.
the only reason we went is because we thought Buckethead was going to be on there.
Not the same. Yeah, we thought Buckethead was playing
And
guitar,
Brain.
but Buckethead didn't even play guitar with him. Yeah.
Oh, that was the foot guy I was playing with him at that point.
They were young guys.
It was the worst concert I think I've ever seen. The Guns N' Roses one, but it really was just Axl Rose was the only one there, you know. So anyway.
His head was like that big.
I remember having tickets to when they did the CKY was opening for him tour, like when they first came back, and then gratefully it got canceled.
Well,
And the more I heard about it, the more I was like,
The
thank God, I
worst
got my
concert
money
we
back.
ever
The only
saw,
reason we
probably.
went is to see Buckethead and Brain playing rhythm
Yeah, we
section.
thought Brain, Promise's old
Yeah.
drummer, was going to play with them too, and neither of those guys were in the band.
Even they were like, "Nah, I'm not."
We
going.
left early. We left after
Yeah, we
3
did.
songs, I think.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
it was
Yeah,
terrible.
We had an interesting night that night.
Bet. That sounds.
Anyway,
You just can't recreate the '80s Axl Rose. Sorry.
nah, poor Axl. Poor Axl.
Yeah,
Slash has done well for himself, but Axl
Look at
just
the young
Axl
men
went off the deep
fight.
yeah. Slash is now playing pedal steel guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
didn't know that.
He sat in with Shooter Jennings the other night.
That's cool.
Okay.
I was like, okay, let's see.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, don't waste your
Like,
talent, man. He's talented.
We
He
have,
should do something.
Still wearing the top hat?
we have a steel guitar player in our band that plays with us a lot of time, and his electric steel he bought off of
Lloyd Maines.
Lloyd Maines.
Oh, wow.
So it's Lloyd Maines, and it's the steel that he plays with us was Lloyd Maines' steel when he played with Joe Ely on the Clash tour when they went to Europe.
yeah.
So that same steel that he plays in our band is
Damn.
was on the stage with the Clash.
He's just
So-
an old hillbilly, though.
Well, that's what I love about the fact that Lloyd Maines was just like, I'm gonna sell this, like whatever.
Yeah, he's got a picture of him shaking his hand and has the thing, and then it has in the case, the original case. There's an airline stub from a tour that Lloyd was on. It has Lloyd Maines' name and stuff
that's
on
cool.
it.
Nice.
And our steel guitar player also has Jimmy LaFave's finger picks that he
Oh,
plays
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Jimmy LaFave. He bought him off of his estate after he passed away, and he uses Jimmy LaFave's finger picks.
We're talking about Blaine Koontz.
Blaine Koontz.
That's like a show. It's a goddamn like museum on stage. Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
His house is like a museum.
Oh my gosh, he's got awesome. We probably shouldn't be saying this on air, but he's got the coolest house ever with all the coolest guitars.
He has like a wheel of steel guitars that he turns around and
Yeah.
picks which one he wants to offer. And
Wow.
Oh yeah, steel guitars. You would. He's got like old Rickenbacker steels, like from the '40s. Like he's got a lot of cool stuff. Old Supro steels.
Oh, wow,
Old,
okay.
all the Gibsons, the Fenders, like all that stuff. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Anyway,
Why didn't we bring him?
next time we'll have him bring all his toys.
Second chapter coming
I
up.
didn't realize we got the B team today.
they don't like to travel as much as we do.
Yeah, they don't travel as much as we do. Yeah, it's
Also,
all
steel
good.
players get paid for everything they do.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're not even bringing your guitar. I'm still going to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's $100 minimum. What?
Exactly.
I thought we were friends. We are, but this is a business.
You're gonna pay me.
We used to play the Avant Garden open mic on Tuesdays, and we'd see Robert Ellis play.
Oh,
He would play upstairs, and he would have this steel. I don't know what the guy's name was, but he was
Amazing.
a pedal steel guitar player that would play with him, and they'd just do jazz stuff, like
Okay.
not even like songs, like just old jazz stuff.
Wow.
And it would be him and a bass player and a little drummer kit, and that pedal steel player would just blow your mind. And it's like a Tuesday night. There's like me and Corey and 6 other people up there just watching the best musicians in the world. Yeah, and then last year I'm watching watching the Newport Folk Festival footage a couple years ago, and Paul Simon comes out, and who's behind him? Robert Ellis is playing guitar. Same guy.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we've dropped enough names.
Yeah, sorry.
You gotta get that credit. Like, do we know this guy?
Hell yeah.
I'm always fired up when we see
We
people
wish we
know.
knew. We wish he knew us.
Shoot, man.
Mike Watt might know us.
It's just cool when you
He
see people
remembers
do
us.
that. People even roundabout, like, oh, dude, they're up there with them. It's like when Hayes Carl did, like, I think it was Letterman, like he bought like John Evans and a bunch of other local folks. Like, y'all can play this song, and it's like just get up there and like we'll play it together. I'll bring everybody from Galveston way up there.
We'll be playing with John Evans pretty soon. There's a nice little the Peach Street Farmers Market in Angleton puts on a night jams every year, and
it's going to be
John Evans.
Corey's in a songwriter circle with Ron Rost and Brian Miller. But
let me see.
Yeah. Sorry.
John Evans is going to be there. I think it's Dallas Moore. I don't know if y'all know who Dallas Moore is. He's been working his tail off. Benny Knotgrass. The first night. It's a 2-night deal. It's a Friday and a Saturday, and it's just a festival. They kind of have music. It starts, I guess, in the evening.
Johnny Falstaff.
Yeah, he just posted about it. That's why I know about it. Yeah,
Jason James.
We've played every year.
Went to high school with that guy.
Oh yeah.
Jason James?
Huh?
Yeah, I opened up for him a couple weeks ago in Alvin.
Okay.
Whistle Stop. Yeah, Jason James. He's not going to be there this year, but I think who's the headliner on Saturday night? I think it's Falstaff.
Was it Mandy Powell or something too?
I don't know. There's a lot of artists this year, but hopefully it goes well this year. It's kind of a small thing, but I think it's a big thing for our community. It's nice to see a network of musicians and stuff out there. And
over in Angleton, the Peach Street Night Jams. Yeah.
So what, June 6th and 7th of August?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're looking forward to May 30th at the League City Folk Association.
Yeah, we're going to do that this month too again, and Ron Rost will be the main performer there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a fun thing, man. Like just how it's grown so big.
They do a good job. Tucker,
man, they're killing it, man.
Rachel, they do a really good job out there.
Well, the city's finally embraced it, which is really good.
That's good. It's good to have that. It's good to have stuff like that around. And every third Saturday we play at Bridgebait. And if you've never been to Bridgebait, just go out there and
it's a day gig, but it's a good day gig because you're on.
Yeah, we play from 2 to 6, and it's just you're on the water and just a great time. Get to see all the fishermen bring their fish in, and
lots of cold beer.
A lot of cold beer on ice down beer. So that makes a difference.
Hell yeah!
It's not refrigerator. It's not some refrigerator beer. It's ice down.
This is real cold.
They got that like Sonic ice too.
Ooh, that's the fancy stuff.
That's the real deal. So. Yeah.
And John plays down there every once in a while. John Evans plays there.
Okay.
It's just one of those secret little hideouts we love.
Yeah, it's a really great spot.
Well, y'all got to get out there and see some Oddtoddler when they're playing live.
Yeah, y'all could get a gig there too.
Yeah, y'all should play out there. All you gotta do is just sign up. It's a great little spot. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays, it's
they throw money in and then people tip. It's a pretty good little gig.
Do a pretty good job every time we play.
Check it out. Give you watch all, man. Come see it.
Yeah, for sure.
We just want to see some new people coming around too. It's after a while we get tired of hearing ourselves.
I understand. Well, cool, man. Is there anything else y'all would like to add?
Kevin?
Just listen to Mike Watt. Fire Hose, Minutemen, Dose. Yeah.
Read some Steinbeck.
Just call this the Mike Watt episode.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Steinbeck, Hondo, My Father, great book. Richard Brodigan.
And don't forget to listen to our album.
Sure, there's a band here.
Yeah, our album's on Spotify and all that stuff. YouTube, whatever, Apple Music, all that jazz.
There'll be a couple previews in the episode. So, cool, man.
So.
Thank y'all for coming. Kim.
Hi, y'all.
All right, y'all. That does it for this week's episode of Music in the Minor League. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Cory and Kevin. Remember, man, go out and catch Oddtoddler every third Saturday at Bridgebait in Freeport. Check out for shows around town. I know they play whenever they can. I'm sure we'll be crossing paths with them on a bill before too long, man. Again, if you like the podcast, share it with friends. Help us get the word out. I think that really does it, man. So I hope y'all have a great one. We're going to leave you with this song. It's called Noble Remedy. Again, from Oddtoddler's self-titled debut album. Be sure to check it out, and we'll see you in 2 more weeks. Later.
my door, and I want you to teach me more. Sign says open, sign says closed. There is no exit, no back door. I want you to sleep on my floor, and I want you to dream some more. I'll dream of wilted flowers up on Edelweiss Mountain, feeling the storm's energy. Where the butterflies and the dragon dice, where the sun sets and the sun rises, for the noble white remedy. To be what I was born to be. You want me to forget about three. There is no shame on me to believe in Trinity. Shadow I hide won't go away, just like the rain falling today. I don't have to kneel to pray. I can dance and chant and play all day. And I'll dance with wild flowers, seeking the flame on the mountain that burns.